6.5 cups of flour. We have 1.5 tablespoons of salt. We have a packet of yeast, and we have 3 cups of room temperature or lukewarm water.
Cool.
Now we're gonna pour the flour in. This is 6.5 cups of flour, I believe.
Yeah.
All right. I have to be really careful not to get any of this flour over the edge, and that's kind of hard.
So this dough needs to be mixed and then kneaded for a total of about 10 minutes. So usually we mix it as much as we can by hand, in the bowl, until it's all kind of, somewhat all the flour's kind of mixed together, and then I'll dump it out and we'll start to do it by hand. So you're just trying to get everything incorporated.
Let's scrape this all off.
I usually just put some more flour on.
Yeah. Some like oobleck.
So whenever there's a wet spot, I put some flour on it, and then I kind of keep folding it over.
And then flattening it, folding it. Although, you kind of have to be patient with the process. Back to the part.
Getting started is always the hardest part. Once it starts to get a little more dry, then it can be just kind of like a meditation where you just, concentrate on playing with the dough.
You know that it's ready when if you poke it, it slowly rises up.
Yeah, okay. There's a whole family. Just plop the whole thing back in there.
Got some heft to it.
And then we're going to cover it loosely with saran wrap. So loosely cover that, and we're going to let it rise for 30 minutes.
So let's just put that there.
So we usually divide this into 5 portions.
You do it way more even than me.
And then,
You're going to take the dough out.
so this is the trick. You just kind of eyeball it. Does that look okay, Abby? Mm-hmm. You want it somewhat flat, but you don't want to be working it too much. And then I try to eyeball to make it 5.
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that look about right?
yeah, it looks pretty even, actually. Better than I could do. Now we have 5 portions.
We want to roll them into a ball. So you kind of take it and you kind of like make a ball and fold it.
Like
So
that?
yeah, so you kind of want to, the seams are all going to be in the bottom. You kind of want to roll the ball.
Like this?
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna kind of push it in, kind of like folding the sides in.
So you're making a ball.
Yep. To make it kind of like that. And then we're gonna push it against the counter, and then we're gonna pull it over. And we're gonna do that a few times.
Yeah, that's
So
perfect.
We make it more spherical, like these.
Yep. You did that better than I do it.
I do?
Yeah. So go ahead and finish those, and then we got to get the containers. Usually, as a family, we'll make
About
3 pizzas the first day, and then I'll save 2. So that's why I did 2 of them. I just put it right in Tupperware. That way, when the dough's finished rising, we can just put it in the refrigerator. Olive oil, doesn't matter what kind. I usually put a little drip in each one.
And then you kind of massage them in.
Yeah, you want it just, the oil helps keep the dough soft and not getting crusty.
Doesn't need to be perfect.
Yeah, you just want to make sure it's wet. I just loosely cover it.
So we can still use the saran wrap.
Yep. And they need to sit at room temperature
For like an hour.
for another hour and a half. Not super tight, but kind of tight.
Okay. The saran wrap doesn't cover this whole thing.
It doesn't usually stick too good to metal. So let me just show.
That's not good.
The dough needs to rise for about an hour and a half. And then we can either go ahead and make the pizza, or we can put the dough in the refrigerator if we're going to make it another day. But so you need at least another hour and a half before you can use it.
Yeah, because you could do it all in one day if you want to, instead of waiting a day.
Yeah.
Imagine they'd be like James and Jesse. How long? I think like 5 hours.
Sour.
Gotta be dry.
It's very naughty though.
Well, because you can't condition it right now.
All right, so this is the dough after about an hour and a half.
Right?
Yep.
Alright. Alright, so we got yellow cornmeal, crushed tomatoes, mozzarella, pepperoni, garlic powder, salt, oregano leaves, and basil. Those are what we're going to need to make the pizza, because we've got the dough right here.
We like to get the block of cheese, and this is better than fresh mozzarella, which we find to be too wet.
Yeah.
And also, we like to shred our own cheese because the pre-shredded stuff has like other ingredients in it, the
Yeah.
anti-caking agents, which are kind of gross.
So it just makes it taste a lot better.
And then for the tomato sauce, we've tried different brands, but this is typically the one we like to have. It use regular crushed tomatoes instead of like pre-made sauce that has a bunch of sugar in it.
Salt.
The darker pans tend to cook better, tend to give a better crust.
Stuff some flour, and I'm gonna make sure there's some on my hands to make everything easier. And then, so we're gonna get our dough, and I'm just gonna flatten that a little bit. It's not a great idea to use a rolling pin because that kind of pops the air bubbles. I mean, it's fine, but it may have your dough may not be as good. So Me and my dad both have kind of different ways. He has thicker crust, and I like to do thinner crust and toppings. But you can do it however you want. I like to kind of start by punching the middle, so that the middle is the thing that's thinnest in the beginning, and then I grab the sides and I spin it around so that it's more even. Because lots of times the middle is thicker than the outside, and you want it all to be pretty thick. And no, it's pretty thin. So I just kind of move it around. And it's fine if you get some holes in it. It's not going to affect the dough that much at all. So don't worry and try and frantically patch it up, because that's not really going to do anything for you.
I think that's actually big enough, because you always have it hanging over the side.
Yeah, well, I'm also going to make garlic knots, so it's nice to have the extra dough.
Abby likes it super thin.
It's also, I like it pretty thin, and he likes it kind of thick. And so it works out pretty well. And so I spend a lot of time on mine, but you don't have to spend that much time on yours at all if you want it to taste good. Look at all those bubbles. This probably might be big enough. I'm just going to make it a little less egg-shaped. You know, a little more a circle. This is probably good. Now we should get the pan out. We sprinkle our cornmeal on the pan. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. Can you help me put the pizza on? All right. So yeah, this is definitely big enough. So where's the knife? Oh. So I like to cut off some of the extra so I can make garlic knots, but it doesn't matter. Like, if you want thick crust, you don't have to cut off the extra at all. So So if you want to make stuffed crust, you can put cheese along the edge and then fold the top part over it. But I'm not going to do that right now. So you just fold the crust up. Alright, so we have the pizza meat. Now you can put oil on it. I just don't think there's a difference. You might taste a difference when you put oil on it, but in my opinion, it tastes about the same. So now I'm just gonna spread the sauce. You don't want to put too much sauce so your pizza won't be soggy, but you do want to put a good amount. So if you see there's like a bunch of sauce in one area, you should try and spread that before adding more sauce. It doesn't matter how neatly you spread it, you just want to really try and spread it evenly and not have it like there's more under the crust than in the middle. You just want it all to be about the same everywhere. Alright, now I'm going to do the seasoning. So I have garlic powder, and I'm going to do my best to spread it evenly across the whole pizza. Now I like a lot of garlic, but you don't necessarily need garlic powder, but I think it tastes really good with it. We have basil, and you can, at the end, put fresh basil on top. We have oregano. Oh, that smells so good. And then we have salt. Alright, now we're going to put cheese. So we have our mozzarella right here. And I'm just going to spread it across. Hey, Dad, do you want to make a plain pizza or pepperoni?
Whichever you want.
I don't know what I want. I guess I'll do pepperoni. Alright, so I'm going to make this one a pepperoni pizza. So all I'm going to do is just put pepperoni on it. Nothing big. Alright, so we don't want any spots where it's just one pile. You kind of want it to be even across the whole pizza. And so that seems good. Now, last step, we have the pepperoni. And you don't need to do pepperoni if you don't want. You could put any topping on you want. Alright. So I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I want this to look neat. So I'm placing it very neatly in a circle around it. You just want to make sure that every slice can have at least one piece of pepperoni on it. I guess that's your main goal when putting on toppings. Alright, that looks good. And now it's ready for the oven. Alright, let's put it in the oven just beeped.
So the oven is at 450.
Yep.
And you want to make sure that the oven is preheated and you only use the bottom rack. Very important.
Here we go. Now we wait. We listen to that.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, that's a perfect pizza, Abby.
Okay, we're gonna cut it now. The pepperoni. Alrighty.
Look at that. Look how thin that is. That is made in Tennessee with crappy tap water in a regular oven. Ooh.
Wow.
That is pretty amazing.
Thanks. Alright.
Suck it, New Haven.
Let me try some.
Hang on, JJ.
That's actually really good.
Stay there. Jacob will be the taste tester.
Alright, tell me, what do you think of my pizza?
Look at the camera. What do you think?
It's super good.
Yay!
All right. So I like to not waste a lot of time and make my pizzas.
Hey, mine's not wasting time.
Not like Abby.
So if you need to do yours in a rush, you could do it his way. Also, he just likes his to be thicker.
So the first thing is just use your palm to get the middle part even. And then you can do it this way, or you can put your palm on one edge and pull. There's a lot better videos on how to make your pizza shape, but this is how I do it. Oh, actually, I need to remember I'm making this for the rectangle pan. It looks awesome.
His way and my way, 2 ways. That's all. Tell me how it is.
There we go.
Alright, so after this pizza, we're gonna make one more pizza, and it's gonna be pepperoni again. And then lastly, we're gonna make garlic knots. With your extra dough, we're not gonna film this part, but you can like fold them however you want. You can make a mustache or a flower, for all I care, to make garlic knots. And then we just put oil, garlic, and salt on it and cook it about the same way as a pizza. And then, yeah, there's nothing special about that. And so,
There, done.
yeah, that's how he does his pizza. There we go. We should show when it's done now. And we're gonna set our timer. 11 minutes. Now we wait. Alrighty. The pizza is done. There we go.
Good job, Jacob.
Oh yeah, tea's ready. Have my tea.
Yeah.
We've got our pizza.
Exactly.